I'm Jane King. Welcome to the New York Stock Exchange. With me is Jesse aggroed Reich, who's going to explain Splinterlands to us. And always fascinated to hear what you're doing with Splinterlands. Very cool project. Give us an update on what Splinterlands is and what you're doing right now.
Sure. Splinterlands is a trading card game, and it's built using a blockchain, and that allows our gamers to play anytime, trade anytime, and earn every win. And what our goal is really to become the first completely decentralized video game that's ever existed.
Yeah.
You know, there have been little pieces that have been parts of this game or that, but we have a whole governance system that we're building and putting in place, and the whole hope is to really make this game owned by the players themselves. We'll help develop it, but it's truly the gamers that operate the game.
Yeah. Why was that important to build the game on the blockchain?
You know, we've watched companies that would ban players. They'd make it pretty far in tournaments, or they'd say something that negative about the company, or they'd have a political view that the company didn't like. They'd ban players. You could see it with assets. You know, people would collect skins or characters or something, and it would have value, but then the game would just ban those players or ban those items, is sometimes amounting in like hundreds of thousands of dollars of losses.
Okay.
So, really to protect the gamer's interest, the more decentralized it is, the more protected your assets are, and the more that it's truly yours.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of that going on these days.
No, it's terrifying.
It's horrible.
It's so much of this world is politicized and split into teams that are really at each other's throats. And so, what used to be a cordial relationship between, different people with different ideas is now hostile.
Yeah.
And if you could take away hundreds of thousands of dollars from somebody through a game, or really any mechanism possible for any kind of viewpoint you don't like, it's cheered, it's celebrated. Yeah. So, that's a terrifying place to be, and we prefer decentralization.
No, I agree with you. I think it is very terrifying where we are right now, globally and in the U.S. in particular. So talk a little bit about the exciting things that you're doing right now with Splinterlands.
So the one that I'm the most excited about is what we're calling the validator nodes. So in order for this game to operate, we want it to be as decentralized as possible. And that really, this is not just one tool and we're done, but this is really one of the first tools that we can do to decentralize token control, to start all the voting within the game, and to really give this is a starting point of the players getting full control of the game. And it starts with this set of validator nodes, so that it's not just us reporting scores, but it's us reporting scores and validated by the entire community. And that's, again, about protecting assets, there's a lot of income or there's a lot of earnings from playing. And so making sure that it's going to the right people and trustlessly. And this is all part of that. So starting at the end of May, we've built our game, we sold some land, we built tournaments, and now that some of the core features are in place, we're like, okay, now let's try to decentralize this thing even more, because it's built on a blockchain, so there's some inherent properties of that make it decentralized, but it's just not enough for us. So starting at the end of the month, we have the pre-sale for the validators coming out, and then later in Q3 or Q4, the first set of functionality for the validators should be here. These things are in testnet, so we're pretty excited about where they're at, but it still takes a little bit of time for QA and bugging to make sure that they're okay.
Sure. Does somebody have to understand how blockchain works?
A little bit. We're going to try to make this as simple as possible. If you've never done it, it's going to take a little bit of learning to operate one of these nodes. You got to rent a server. You have to download some programs to it so that it runs. But after the initial setup, which can be mildly tricky, after that it just kind of runs in the background. And then whenever the community votes to go do updates, you'd have to make some updates to the server. But really, it should just be able to operate smoothly in the background.
The profile of the user? I know it's global.
Yeah, I mean, it really spans everybody, and I think the rental market is a big part of that. So, I kind of think of it as the people with time, the people with money, and the people with time and money. So the people with time are typically the gamers, and they like playing the matches and all the different rule sets and all the different combinations and really nerding out about the game. The people with money like all the rental aspects. So, they'll buy a giant collection and then they'll rent those cards out to the other players. There's so much money that you can earn in this game that it makes sense to rent the cards to earn, which means that there's this entire other class of, basically digital asset landlords that come in, purchase assets to rent. And then lastly is a group that has money and time. Those guys, I don't know how they got there, but they'll buy huge collections.
And I have neither. How does this happen?
I have no idea. They're incredible. They're like people that were into Ethereum when it was 10 cents.
Yeah.
And now they have zounds of money and unlimited time. And they'll sit around and they'll buy lots of assets and play all day. I've seen it happen.
Is it mobile and PC?
Yeah, the mobile usage is still a little bit less. It's a browser-based game,
okay.
and our goal is to keep putting out other browser-based games. We recently described a partnership with Warner Music Group, and so the goal is to go put out some music entertainment and bring that audience in and help them onboard into crypto. And then there's some sports things that we're doing as well. So not all of them are announced, but we have multiple projects that we're working on to take this from a single game to multiple games that we support. And ultimately what we want to do is build a blockchain version or a Web 3.0 version of like a video game marketplace.
Okay.
And it's not that simple though, because trying to get people to get their games, which function in sort of like free-to-play worlds or console games or something, making it so that they can distribute rewards is actually a very complex task. And so I think it'll be this kind of mix of us helping to build this marketplace, but also help games transition into it and learn how to do all these things.
Yeah, okay. And just, where's the website where somebody can find out?
Splinterlands.com is the place to go, and come join our community. We live in Discord, Twitter, and Telegram, and just searching for Splinterlands will help you find us in all of those.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jesse.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks.
Thank you.